Right, guys, let's talk through the lay of the land. It's a very interesting week. I actually jumped into the Discord, looked at the questions that I could answer, and I think there was zero there. They'd been answered already. Or it was like a bunch of days ago, and something, yeah, as someone else answered. And then there's only one team that I could analyze that someone sent me overnight, which is just crazy with how it's been the last bunch of weeks. So obviously most people run out of trades, have used them up. And I just want to give you an idea. If you do have a few trades left, if you have the one left, if you have none, what you should do. So clearly, if you have multiple trades left, you could, if you have three left, you could use a couple this week. Easy. I would leave one left for the last week. If you have one left, it's definitely okay to use it this week, but I would make sure you have at least one or two at a minimum of cover next week for potential resting. So that's the other reason why you might hold a trade this week, is to use it next week when there might be 2 to 3 guys, 4 guys in your team rested. You've got Damien Cooks, you've got Munsters, you've got Joey Manus, you've got Tedesco's, Hines. These types of guys that could easily be rested, and all of them could be at once. So keeping a trade up your sleeve for next week could be ideal. The reason why you would use it this week is to try and get upgrade, maybe a 20 to 30 point upgrade if you need it. So if you've got a couple of guys out and you only have 16 available, you definitely would use it. And then obviously if you do it now, you might have 30 point upgrade this week and a 30 point upgrade next week. Awesome, 60. If you hold it, right, and you could just hope for a better score from that guy, you think you might be upgrading a Reed, Marnie, or a Taumalolo, hoping that they get a closer score to the other guy you might upgrade them to. So you get a bit lucky. And then if there are restings next week, you could get that 60 points back that you wouldn't have, for example, if you had to play 15 or 16. So that one extra trade would net you that one more player. So that would be my general thoughts. If you do have multiple trades, guys that you could potentially trade out, there's plenty of them in my team. You've got Taumalolo, you've got Reed Marnie, you've got Jamin Salmon this week you could trade out. Adam Elliott, Payne Haas I would not be, that's okay. And the rest of the guys are going to be fine. Okay, sweet. If there's other guys, really not too many that I'd be looking to trade out. Anyone you want to trade in, anyone in this top group here, Murray, obviously the guys in my team, you got Cotters, you got Cooks, these types of guys. But again, be wary that they might not play next week. Guys like Tarpany, Lane, Grant, all solid options, but again, just be wary that they might not play. Offengawe should be playing next week, so he's a very safe one, I think, that you could get a good score out of. Isaiah Yeo, good chance he gets rested next week. Guys like Robson and Crichton could get rested. For Feeder, I think will be a good one for the next two, if you got a 743 K available. DCE probably plays the last week, considering they're not going to make the finals. Dylan Brown could get rested, but all decent options. If you're looking for other guys here, Mitch Moses I'd probably stay away from. Just could be a little bit up and down. Nat Butcher's going to be a solid one. He should play, considering he hasn't played a lot this year in terms of, compared to the other guys. Didn't play Origin and stuff, so he's a cool one at 669 if you need an option. Olukwatu is going to be a solid one as well, along with Jaden Brayley. There's some solid ones to pick up for sure. If we're looking down the line, avoiding Nelson this week, he won't be on the edge. Guys like Sean O'Sullivan are going to be fine. I think he definitely plays next week as well. There's no point why he wouldn't. I think getting those reps in is going to be great, considering Cleary is going to be back and O'Sullivan will be out for round 1 of the finals. Blakey Brayley's a solid one, but he could even get rested. You never know. Maxi King and Brandon Smith are going to do a decent job. To be honest, Brandon Smith at 619 is solid if you need that. I think guys like AJ Brimson are a solid one in this next coming weeks. If you need a centre, then Campbell Graham I think is a good one. He's going to need a few reps over the next few weeks to come out and be ready for finals, I think. If you're looking down the line, Lucy Leilua I think will get big minutes again. Jack Bird would have been great, but he's moved to the centres now. Josh Jackson is one of those other guys you could trade out as well if you needed to. In terms of other guys that are solid options, Lukey Thompson is coming back from that injury there, played limited minutes on the weekend, but he gets to start at lock, so he should get a good score or two over the next few weeks. And guys like Gutho and stuff are there. Do you want to pick them up? Curran, a bit of an issue with the minutes, but he should be getting bigger minutes this week and probably gets the next two. So if you think he's going to play edge for those last 2 weeks, then he could be a solid one. Other than that, you're Tuolangi there. Raymond Fatala Mariner. Lomax is going to be solid. I think a few people are asking about him. I think he could come out and do a job this week, especially. He had a good one last week. He's going to be a little bit up and down though. Just be aware of that. Stephen Crichton, also a solid one, but there's a chance he gets rested as well next week. Just be aware of that if you're looking to pick him up. Suoli'i, I think he gets the 2 cracks. I don't see him getting rested just with him being so young. And from there, really not too much else to talk about. You got Talakai coming back. I wouldn't be looking to bring any of those guys in. Jaden Campbell etc. Or it's probably definitely more of a trade out this week than anything. So that's all I'm probably going to mention if we're there. Obviously, Salmon at 386 is a bit of an issue if you're looking to trade out as like a straight swap. There's really not too many solid options there. You're probably looking at guys like Freebarn that are a little bit cheaper because everyone down here is going to be very hit and miss. You know, Opacek had a big one last week, but that's not going to happen every week. And then you're looking at some pretty average scorers from here on in. Maguire's going to be up and down considering he's on that edge. Like, good score 2 weeks ago, 21 last week, not good. Farmani Brown has been a solid one until his 24 last week. Brody Jones is an interesting one if you want to get him in at 413, if he can use him as a straight swap. You got Lockie Miller as well. Those two guys are probably the most interesting at that cheap spot, and I wouldn't be interested in anyone else. So let's move on to that one team, which is an interesting one. We've got Black Pastor, who writes in regularly, had an awesome round 24 rank of 61st, which is incredible, and now overall 45. Thoughts on the team? Obviously, it's good then. He had Payne Haas's advice, lucky not as captain. Had to play Kohler, which was cool. Had to play Jackson and got the nice score from Brayley. So missing out Aiken is going to be annoying, but with the rest of the team playing, I think is fine. Holding trades for next week, assuming big guns get rested. Yeah, I don't see the need to actually trade. Bought Brayley in for Garrick last week. That paid off for sure. I would hold, man. I think you obviously just got the 17. There's going to be a resting next week, so I would use that one trade for that. But just, yeah, big congrats on this team, man. Really impressive on that one. And just a few YouTube comments there just to finish off this video. Thanks again for everyone who's still writing in and looking for advice. And for those that are still watching, I really appreciate it. I said, yeah, teams trying to avoid all the 30 scores, and 30s are better than zeros. Yeah, there's a couple of guys who got 0 and 1 this week, right? Johnny giving us some advice there. Don't need the fullback cover this week and could get anyone for that price. But yeah, still like that Brimson kind of level for sure. Tamlo to Frizzell on last week of head-to-head. I definitely think Frizzell can get a better one. Lolo could get to those heights, but I just think that he hasn't got that vigor these days that he used to in getting those big tackle break numbers. So I think that's a solid one. Saw this one from Ernie. Lomax or Stephen Crichton want to upgrade Mam and not trade out Aiken. I think Lomax is probably the one that's definitely going to play both games. If you want to, if you're tossing up between, I'd probably go for Lomax for that reason only. But other than that, that's probably all. Went to the last game ahead to prelim on equal points, having Elliott while the other guy had Hudson Young. Thank you for your help this year, boss. Appreciate it. A top 4K rank is a lot better than I've got before you. So you're a ledge. Thank you. Good to have you back. Tamlo, the bird seems all that it did until he was in the centres. Lolo has to go Lolo to Yo, bit of a pod. Yeah, just worried about Yo for next week, that's all. So yeah, there's not too many. I've replied to him, a bunch of them. Didn't have Crichton, Butcher or Brown. No good. And then we're up to some of the ones I missed at the back end of last week. So that's that video, guys. I hope that helped you. If you haven't had your question answered, just pop me a DM in the Discord. Will be hectic. Or just pop one down in the comments here. That would be sick. I appreciate you all for being here. We'll catch you in the next couple of videos. See you later.